Welcome to Theragape. Feeling stuck in the divorce process or about the divorce overall? In this community, Manzi shares personal tips from personal experiences to help you thrive and live life to the fullest.
Hello friends, welcome to Theragape. This is a community where we discuss the issues of life in a therapeutic setting with the agape love of God. My goal in this season is to help you thrive during the divorce process and after the dissolution. So welcome, my name is Manzaler Lohrey. I hope you're having a great day so far. Please check out my other videos. I have been talking about divorce as a new beginning, and I have done the letters N-E-W-B-E-G-I-N. I'm doing the letter I. And this one is to insist on progress over perfection. Sometimes we think we need everything to be in a certain order, to be perfect before we take the next step. But many times we just need to get going. We just need to make some progress instead of waiting for things to be perfect. Life is never going to be perfect, and neither are we. So today I want to encourage you to insist on progress over perfection. So what I learned during the divorce process is that I could not wait around for the perfect day or the perfect circumstance or the perfect moment. I had to show up every day, whether I was responding to an email from my lawyer or a text message from my ex. You know, maybe it was about who was going to take what, splitting up this thing or whatever it was. I had to make some progress. And I want to backtrack to say that one thing I learned from the divorce process is that my state of mind really had to be, first of all, to accept that my spouse wanted a divorce. It's difficult to, have a plan for what you're going to do and have all the strategies and all that if your state of mind is not in order. So the first place is to really remember that there's nothing wrong with you or him or her. People have a choice, and they have made a choice to leave me or to leave you. And so it's okay. Life does go on. But let that be the first place where your progress starts, is that I would have chosen my marriage over this, but this is what he wants, this is what she wants. So I am going to follow through with whatever it takes to get to that place, okay? So that would be your first place of progress, is your state of mind, your state of being, your disposition that this may be difficult, but it's going to pass, and that's your progress. You know what? It's okay, and it is going to be okay. I don't know how. I don't know what the details are for right now, but right now I embrace the fact that she wants out of the marriage. Okay, I was sharing that what I learned was that I couldn't wait around for my circumstances to look right or to feel right. A little story about how I even got to this place. So I was married for about 12 years, got married in December of 2008. And it was in 2020, I think around July, August, that the talk about separating or divorce came about without clarity. But it was officially in September of 2020, because I remember it was the day after Labor Day. And I got that phone call, it was on a Tuesday, that this is not going to work. That was preceded by conversations about, because we were building a house together, and the conversation was, well, if this thing doesn't work, do you want us to close on the house? The closing was going to be August or September. I think we moved some things into the house on September 25th, because it was my sister's birthday. So I remember saying, no, I think it will be okay, we can close on the house. Still thinking that maybe he would change his mind. I mean, that's the thing with our brain. We get so used to doing things a certain way, and just trying to change things can be painful. And we just want to stay in the place of familiarity, even sometimes if it's not good for us. And so I did choose to move forward with closing on the house. Well, fast forward, I didn't get to stay in the house, because the conversation was, if you stay in the house, then I will have an apartment. But if you find someplace else to go, then I will stay in the house. And for me, just emotionally, I couldn't stay in the house. I mean, this is a house where in 2020, at least, you could not just pick a plot, but you pick your cabinets, you pick your flooring. I mean, you pick all the different designs, and I was so emotionally attached to my marriage still and to that whole process. So I went to stay with my cousins, and then he stayed in the house, and it was very painful. I don't know what words to use or what word at that time to describe how devastated and just how painful it was for me to drive away from a house that I had chosen, you know, or help to pick some things in the house and all that stuff. But anyway, I went to my cousin. So fast forward, I get served. It was right after Christmas or maybe right after New Year's. But the doorbell rang. That was preceded by text messages and phone calls. I dreaded the text messages. One part of me looked forward to text messages because I'm thinking I had it already programmed. I made a mistake. I don't know why I did that. Would you come on home? Let's see where we can start. Because I even said, this is a 3-bedroom house. It's a 3 or 4, I don't remember now. So, you know, you can stay in one room. I'll stay in one. As far as the refrigerator goes, I can take the first 2 shelves. You can take the last 2. Do the same for the freezer and the pantry. And, you know, we just see how things go. But so I was dealing with all of that. So then I get served, and I dreaded that day because, again, I still was hoping that things would change. So I get served, and I'm like, man, this thing is for real. I try to read through the document. I didn't know what they were saying. And, you know, I talked to some people who knew a little bit about the divorce process, and they said it would be beneficial for you to probably get a lawyer to help you at this time. And honestly, I'm glad I did, because in February, it was like 3 or 4 weeks after I was served. I was served in January, maybe the first week after we celebrated New Year's. And then the first week in February, I was in an accident. Somebody rear-ended me and left me with a concussion. And so now everything changed. I mean, trying to read something was a lot of work. You know, I would read a book. I was an avid reader, very active, and just to read one page could take me up to an hour, because sometimes I didn't even understand what I was reading, or the letters seemed to be jumping. And then my diagnosis was also a little late into the game. So I had all these symptoms. I didn't know what I had, that it was a concussion, until about 5 weeks later when I went to the ER again. So anyway, I say this to say that the progress for me after I got served, well, my progress didn't even start there, because I was still rationalizing, he's just going through the motion, he will change his mind, until I got a text message or the email that said, I'm moving forward with this. What do you want to do? You know, we had a rental property in another state. Do you want to keep that? I can stay in this house. I mean, it's just, I'm like, oh, this thing is serious. So once I accepted the fact, the reality that my husband of 12 years is going to be an ex, I had to really have a mind shift. So I had 2 things going on. I have a concussion, and I'm going through a divorce. And so progress for me was really, now, let me tell you something I do as a habit. First thing in the morning, I talk to God before I check the phone, before I check anything. Before I go to bed, I say good night to my God. When I wake up in the morning, before I say anything to the world, I start by praying. And so for me, that disposition helped me, because I could get on my knees, I could stand up and face the day. Yes, it was painful. Yes, there were days I cried. I mean, I still went to work, and finally I was put on FMLA, because even at work, one time I walked into the wall. I thought the door was over here or there, but it was here. And so, you know, I just had some conversions dysfunction, and so my doctor took me off work, and that was one of the best decisions for me, to help me heal with the neurological shift I had from the concussion. So I stayed at my cousin's until I knew for sure that the marriage was really over. And in my mind, I was at my cousin's. I was going to go back home. So, you know, their house was going to be a holding tank for me, a little transition period in my mind, temporarily, until I went back to the house we built. But no, once I knew that was over, I left my cousin's house, because I needed that mind shift that I was really moving forward. That was a good decision. It was a hard decision, but I did, because that was another phase in this journey of this divorce process. So I got an apartment, and my mom had come to stay with me because I really, it was it was a bad deal with a concussion. Helped me go to doctor's appointments, and I had PT, and then I had the lawyer calling, and then I had to read this email, and all that stuff. But going back to choosing progress over perfection, my situation was not perfect. I was going to get a divorce. The concussion was raging, but life still went on. Nothing stopped because I had a concussion. Nothing stopped because he didn't want me. I had to do what I had to do. I had deadlines to meet. And then we got to this phase in the divorce process. I forgot what it's called. Disclosure, disclaimer is where you list everything you had. Because now I had to rack my brain. And sometimes I would just forget. And I had to distract myself with other things, maybe just go on YouTube and watch something. And then I'll have a notebook near me. Then I'll have some recollection. I'll write that down. Oh, yeah, I did have this bank account over here. I don't know when I opened it. I don't know if we had it together or I had it alone. Oh, yes, the Toyota. Okay, yeah, write that down. And everything else. And, but yeah, that was the journey for me. So progress over perfection would be where whatever information you have, get familiar with that information, A. B, decide what the next step is. What are you going to do with that? So if it's the email from your lawyer, read through the email. Don't be in a hurry. And yes, the truth, that email may catch you at a bad time for you. This is not a good time. What the lawyer, really doesn't care. And his or her lawyer don't care either. We need this information by so and so day. So read the email, write down the important things, and then list how you're going to tackle those things. So if you need to contact this bank, if you need to verify this day, write all those down. And then, put a check mark so that you can see the progress that you're making. And then when you're tired for that moment. You can come back to it. It's a good thing to let your lawyer know, acknowledge that you received the email, and just say, I will be working on it. It may take me so and so time, but I will have it to you by XYZ date. And make it a priority. And then once you've responded to your lawyer and you have gone through the list, find something else to do. I don't know, go fold some clothes, do some laundry, go in the fridge, see if there are some things that have expired. Why? You don't want to give all your time, all your energy to the divorce process. Life still goes on. Your fridge still needs to be cleaned. You may need to meal prep for the week. So allow yourself to start doing those things so that they also become a part of your journey, where you're not waiting around because this divorce is here and you're in great despair, okay? So make that progress. And then you can plan ahead for the next day, depending on what that email looks like today and the things you need to tackle. Maybe you read the email at 5 in the evening. Most banks may be closed at that time. If it's a Friday, well, some banks are open on Saturday. If you read it on a Sunday, well, then you have to wait till the next day. But prioritize it and then go do your workout, meal prep, return some phone calls, watch something funny. I don't care if it's Friends or Frasier or something from back in the day, or good old Tom and Jerry, or the Muppet Show. I'm just saying, in short, find something that brings laughter to you, because at the end of the day, you will need all of those things because they are all part of the process. Your lawyer is nagging you, but you have the TV here that you can turn on to find something that brings some amusement, some joy to you in this process. Call a friend. Get moving and find something to do. Have a new routine, okay? So insist on progress over perfection. It does matter how you feel, but because you are going through this, it doesn't matter what's going on with you. You do have to meet that deadline. So that would be what I will share with you today. Just remember that this too shall pass, okay? I don't know where you are in the process, and I know that it can be painful, but it's really going to pass, especially if you begin a new routine of doing other things, adding some positive things to your day while you're still crying. I shared in one of my videos that The emotions can be like a baby you're carrying in the car seat. You still have to get groceries. You still have to clean your house. Don't sit there in the filth. It's not going to help you. You know, if they're not coming back, they're not coming back. And if you're sitting there in the filth, then you can say, oh, well, maybe this is why they don't even want me. I mean, I don't know. You know, you just say that to yourself to help you get motivated. I wonder if they were to even ask me to come back today, or if they were to ask to want to hang out, and I invited them here, will there even be something that would turn them away from it? But maybe you don't have to ask that question. Just say to yourself, you know, is this how I want to live? Is this really how I want to address this divorce process? So if you need some friends, be honest and just say, I'm in a funk right now. Are you able to get 3 or 4 people? I will buy pizza. Just, you guys come over, let's have a cleanup day, you know? It just helped me through that. So I hope you do have those friends that can do that for and with you. But make progress. Take the next best step. Do not be consumed by the divorce process. It is going to pass. It's like parents who spend all their time just doing stuff for the kids, you know, for the 18 years of going to this game and they go on vacation and they're doing this and never made time for date nights, never made time to even sort through the argument. You know, they had to shove everything had to be perfect. One day the kids turn 18, 19, they're going to college, and this man and this woman, they don't know each other, you know? And so if you treat this process like that, then when that dissolution comes, you're still able to say, well, you know, okay, it's here. You will feel the pain over again, because now it's like, wow, this thing has really happened. But you still had your routine, where you went and got coffee, where you cleaned your fridge, where you meal prepped, where you ironed your clothes, where you dusted and vacuumed, and you listened to music, and you watched old or new sitcom. I don't know what's out there. I'm not a big TV watcher. But yeah, that way you're taking care of yourself. So I hope you found this video helpful. My friends, I'm here for you. Please like and subscribe. If you are having a hard time with the divorce process, I know that, you know, you can talk to a therapist. You can talk to your social connections. Just make sure you're not going through this alone. All right? I'm here for you. You take good care. Until next time, God bless you. Bye for now.